Where did we leave off? Nope, that was chapter 1. Library, America Old Road. Alright, Uncle Miles. That's right, Tower, Stargaze Tower. Oh, nice. Yep, all those books. Labor and expense that will be required. Interesting. Yeah, we'll accept it. Get over that removed barrier. Alright. Oh, I can skip that? Nice. I think, yeah, I have to go this way. There's a fishing spot here. I'm fishing. Nice. Good job, Randy.
ま、これが実践の差ってやつだね。
私の番ですね。そっか。
Wow, I just really don't want Randy to be alive. There's one after Randy. Dang, a third time hitting Randy. Row, row, fight the power. Petrify, okay. Turn around. I disagree.
みんな油断は禁物よ。へい。
行くぞ。
Yeah, weak to fire and wind.
せいと。
行きます。サッカー。
Good thing I resist the
俺の番
delay.
だな。行くぞ。せいや。
サッカー。私の番ね。はい。
よっしゃ。はっ。 行くぞ。
Yeah, this one.
やっはっ。
私の番ね。キャッ。
Good agreement. It's going. Had a day off today from work, so I just woke up. I woke up decently early, like not 5:30 in the morning really. But I woke up early enough to have breakfast and then go to Best Buy.
この調子で行くぞ。
And I picked up my copy of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I played that for a while. So my PS4 controller is charging, and I was like, you know what? I would like to stream a little bit of Trails. While my PS4 controller is charging, and because I wanted
ここなら釣れ
to
そうだ。
play a little bit more of this. It's interesting. The gameplay is really good. I have no idea where the story's going, and there's been a few things that have been like Yakuza levels of over the top. And that's not a bad thing. I love the Yakuza games, so I'm totally down for Yakuza in my Final Fantasy.
まずまずかな。それ。
Like, specifically Chapter 4 is like the Yakuza chapter. Just how crazy some of the characters are in that one.
よし、ゲットだ。それ。 しまった。それ。
Like, it's got darts in it, and the dart system reminds me of the Yakuza darts.
え。それ。
Yeah, that was... I got a good laugh out of that scene, too.
まあ、こんなもんかな。それ。
Also, I really like the new systems that they've added in. Summons feel very interesting. And they don't feel... Like, they don't... I hated how 15 treated summons. Like, 15 made summons feel like a get-out-of-jail-free card. And while they also feel kind of overpowered in 7 Remake, they're a lot more fun. Because they're not just a press X to summon. Here's a cutscene, they deal massive amounts of damage and you just auto-win. It's more like, it's more like it's more like 12's version of summons. And I don't even like 12, but it does it in a way that's actually good.
まあ、こんなもんかな。それ。
Yeah, I mean, I'm always gonna be that guy that, I'll always argue when people go, 13 sucks because it's so linear. It's like, but 10, which everyone says they love, is literally even more, I would say it's almost more linear than 13 is. Because you really don't get open world until you get the airship, and you don't even get the airship until like the very end of that game.
Yes. Yeah.
12's big problem for me is I don't like its characters for the most part, outside of like 3 characters. I actually like more of characters. I like more of the characters in 13 than I do in 12. I will take Snow any day over Pinello or Vaughn. Just so boring. Just the boring characters. Yeah, and that's the thing is like the remaster apparently fixed a lot of gameplay and mechanic issues, which I played Vanilla, and Vanilla was so bad. It's just boring gameplay. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, if you have the correct stuff set up, like with your Gambit system and all this other stuff, you really don't ever have to do anything. Yeah, you can just literally put the controller down in a fight and just, that's it. The game plays itself. And that would be fine if the story was halfway interesting and the characters were interesting, but they're not. I'm also kind of biased because it's the first mainline Final Fantasy title that didn't have, like a numbered Final Fantasy title, that didn't have Nobuo Uematsu at the helm for the music. So maybe I'm biased there that I don't think the music's that good. But, I don't know. I don't even think it has that great world building. Its world building is, hey, we're set in the same universe as Final Fantasy Tactics, which people really like. That's kind of it. I would not say it has fantastic world building. Lore, maybe, but I don't know. I'm jaded on 12, maybe because I also did not like it when I played it. Like, 13's combat system is actually interesting. Its characters are okay, and its story's not terrible. I mean, that whole, not that series, but the 3 games that were 13, 1, 2, and 3, they got progressively weirder, I would say. Like, I never played 13-2 or 13 whatever, Lightning Returns. I actually can't use it. I think it's funny too, because like, I never played Final Fantasy X-2 either. I know, I hear it's really good. Even though it's kind of cheesy, I hear it's like worth playing. But I don't know. I kind of like just leaving 10 where 10 left off and not going through this weird windy road of, oh, this guy looks a lot like Tidus. Maybe he's Tidus and he's not Tidus though. It's just weird. Yeah. I think at this point, if I were to campaign for any Final Fantasy besides 7, of course, it's currently being remade. If I were to campaign for any Final Fantasy to get remade, I would campaign for 8. I think 8 being remade would make more sense. I don't expect it to, nor do I even kind of really want it to. But I think 8 gets a really bad rap that it doesn't really deserve. And I would like if you give 8 that, I think 8 would benefit from having a more action RPG instead of turn-based combat system with a Gunblade, with Zell, with Renoa being a ranged fighter, Irvine being a ranged fighter. The draw system could be actually interesting in that sense. In the junction system. But I don't know. I like 8. Yeah, 8 is a love it or hate it because it came after 7, which was critically acclaimed, and a lot of people either didn't like or didn't understand the combat system and the mechanics behind it. It's a very different, like the mechanics are very different. And I'll always agree with it. They're weird. The whole idea of the draw system and the junction system is weird. The enemies scaling with you in level is weird. I won't argue that. But I like it because it's different. I like it because it attempted to do something different. Yeah, scaling enemies just makes it so that you never really even have to like... That's the biggest problem with doing that, is that you don't give an incentive to fight enemies. Like, you'll never want to fight a random encounter. And you don't have to. Once you get the encounter none ability, you can literally just... Oh, nice. That was cool. If you just get the encounter none ability, you only fight bosses. And once you know what you're doing with the system, bosses are kind of a pushover because you can just spam limit breaks with high damage against low-level enemies and low-level bosses. Yeah, I mean, ATB is what it is. I don't mind it. I can live with or without it. I mean, 10's really cool because 10 is just a straight-up set order, and you can see it on the side. Kind of like this. Which is really cool. Because it lets you strategize more. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I like knowing kind of where my, like, what turn order is. Who should I be watching out for? This one goes a step further with the bonuses like Death Blow and Vanish. Oh, 10 is a fantastic game. I love 10. I think 10 has really good characters. 10 summons are some of my favorite. The music is honestly some of the best. It's not the greatest soundtrack, but there's like a lot of really good songs on it. But Hymn of the Faith is super great. Like, Tizanarkind is... There's a reason why that song means so hard. It's a good song. Oh yeah, Beside Island? Oh, fantastic piece of music. And that's Nobuo Uematsu's last, like, main Final Fantasy title that he wrote music for. And even then, a lot of the songs that were on that soundtrack were other composers. He had less of a thing in there. That was going when he was kind of on his way out of that franchise. Apparently he's credited for the music and remakes. I don't know if he came back to do additional tracks or what. But there's some really cool remixes in different genres in the FF7 remake. There's a blues country version of Barrett's theme. There's like a hip hop chocobo theme called the hip. It's called a hip hop de chocobo, and it's so weird, and I like it. I don't know, Final Fantasy is always going to be one of those things where it's like, I'll always finally remember it as like probably my definitely my first RPG series I played, and probably the one that I'll always hold fondly the most, I guess. That might be it. I can totally put a fishing spot here. Yeah, like, I don't know, it's... 6 is always going to be, like, not only my favorite Final Fantasy game, it's also my favorite RPG, and it probably is my favorite game of all time. I really love Final Fantasy VI. I mean, I learned the speedrun for it. That's how much I like that game. But as far as, like, RPGs go, Trails is definitely up there right now as, like, my favorite franchise. It probably is currently my favorite franchise. Suikoden's up there, Star Ocean's up there. I would say the Mana series, but it really isn't. I only really like Trials of Mana. Because I played it when it was fan translated. And I played Secret of Mana, but I wasn't a huge Secret of Mana fan. Like, the game itself was okay, but it wasn't that great to me. I love, like, I love, what is it, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, oh, I love Chrono Trigger. I hated Chrono Cross. I don't like Chrono Cross at all. I could not get into Chrono Cross's battle system at all. It actually confuses me still. I've booted up so many times to play the intro, and I still just don't understand it. It seems overly complicated. It's really slow and it's overly complicated, and I'm not a fan. What I did like was the Crimson Echoes fan-made game. It was the fan game where they took the Chrono Trigger, like, sprites and stuff, and they made it so, like, it was an interquill that explained exactly why, like, and how Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross are related. Yeah, Chrono Trigger is a fantastic game. I love that game. I mean, Breath of Fire series is also, like, one of my favorites of all time, up into 4. I don't like Dragon Quarter, and 2 is definitely, like, on the bottom of that list. 2's good, but it has a lot of pacing issues, and a lot of other issues. And then the classic, like, true endgame is, like, ridiculously hard for no reason. Almost like a Dragon Quest. Where, like, 1, 3, and 4 don't have that issue. 2 did. It was also extremely possible, and not actually that rare, to soft lock in 2. Oh yeah, 3 I also learned the speedrun too. It is, last I checked, a little over 7 hours long. But when I learned it, it was around 8.5 to 9 hours long. It is a long speedrun. I tried helping with the routing of that one too, at a time. We just never found any good sequence breaks, unfortunately. That was like the biggest, like... I wish we had found sequence breaks in that game. There really are no glitches. The only thing that there's, like, glitches of in Breath of Fire 3 is you can lock AI, like enemy AI in battle, if you use escape. And like if you can't, because you can't escape, but it somehow locks the AI into doing certain things, so you can kind of make a fight go consistent. I mean, granted, there's nothing always consistent. Like if you get crit, you get crit. If you get poisoned, you get poisoned. God, McNeil's Mansion is such a run killer because of that. Ugh, I hate that. Like you get an hour and a half into the run, essentially through the tutorial. And then you just get dicked over by McNeil Manor. It blows a lot. Like, imagine, like, that's the thing, that's why, like, I don't want to say I hated FF8 speedrun, but at one point, the FF8 speedrun was literally get to Ultimacia, and then RNG tells you whether or not you complete a 8.5 hour run. Just RNG determines whether or not you actually get the finish. And I was like, that's fucking stupid. Like, it's not bad if there's RNG throughout the game, but if the RNG is literally the final boss is just a crapshoot, I'm not spending 8 hours for a percent chance. I don't like this fight. These guys suck. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's the kind of the it's kind of the risk you take with RPG speedrunning. I remember not Legend Cocoon, Jade Cocoon. Now that's a speedrun. And I say that because it has a 10-minute unskippable cutscene to start. And that's just, it makes, ooh. Oh, see, that's why I hate these enemy types. They can just commit murder. Is that allowed? Oh, nice. I was gonna say, is Turbo even allowed? Because some communities ban Turbo, which I don't always agree with. Like, I can agree with it in, like, games where Turbo breaks the game, but in an RPG when you're mashing text, you should be allowed to just Turbo. If it's in the game, you should be allowed to Turbo. That's just my opinion. Like, if I were to speedrun Geofront's Trails from Zero, I would Turbo all the time. Are you kidding me? Yeah. And that's why I think, like, I'm wondering if, like, because the original Trails, like, the original Zero does not have Turbo. I wonder if the Geofront patch translation would have to be its own category, not only its own category, but like its own game. Because even though it's not probably going to save time being in English instead of Japanese, Turbo is going to save you a ton of time. I wish this game had Turbo. I mean, yeah, when you're moving that quickly, you gotta you gotta avoid enemies, you gotta make the right plays. Cutscenes, even in this game, you can just hold X to skip cutscenes, essentially. You don't really skip cutscenes, but you just mash right through the text. Any game in which you can hold a button to auto-advance text, like Final Fantasy VI has it in battles, and like this game has it, is so much better than mashing a button. You can just hold the button to skip to like auto advance text. They put the treasure chest up here with the monsters? Okay. Yeah, mashing can suck it. Mashing is unfun and uninteresting. Sticky icky. Please don't kill me. That's like playing for Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories and mashing. See, that's what Ellie said yesterday too, and I'm not sure what's going on with it. Let me see. Yeah, so it's the game audio. So I'm wondering, how do I fix that? It's probably let me see if there's something to fix that through here. Yeah, she mentioned it yesterday, and I don't know what happened. Let's see. There's a way to mess with audio in here. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted. Hi, yeah, we're using PPSSPP, if you didn't know. Huh. I'm not sure how I would even fix that. I know, right? No GPSP. Capture card and everything. Totally capturing, a game that never came out in the West. I'm gonna save after this fight, and I'm gonna like close the emulator and reopen it, and see if that fixes it. We'll find out in a second. Dang, that health heal level 50. Nice level ups. Alright, let's save. Let's see if we can fix this. Okay, let's see. Where are you? There you are. Alright, let me know if it's any better or if it's the same. Because the weird thing is, it's fine on my end. Seems the same. So how, like, so it's delayed? It's desynced? Let me see if I can mess with something. Like a half second. Interesting. see if I can do something here. Is it this? Oh, that was not what I wanted to do. Wait, does that really break that? Okay, it doesn't break that. I don't want to do that. Let's see if this does anything. Let me know if it's still going. Fixed. Okay. Weird. I had to essentially go into the capture settings and tell it to stop limiting the frame rate. So I guess it was limiting the frame rate, and that was causing a desync. That's the only thing I can think of. That's weird. Interesting. $82? Come on. Alright, we're gonna open it. We can beat him, right? It's gonna be the giant monkeys that are going to cast the Gaia Titanus on me. I already know it. I already know it. Yup, I knew it. Oh, there's 4 of them now. Oh, here they come. Oh, yeah. And now they murder. Good gosh. Oh, there's Gaia Titanus. So it just desynced again? Ooh, I wonder. How about now? Oh. What the heck? Oh. Interesting. Let me see. Oh. I wonder. So I'm okay. I'll just show this. You see how that that number in the top right, that's the FPS. How it says 3130 sometimes? I'm wondering if that's causing a desync. I'm wondering if it's just being a little too... I need to find out. I don't have to check to see if I can like fully get it to stay at 30. Let me try to mess around with the settings. Frame skipping. It's off. I can put it to auto? Would that help? No, that doesn't seem to help. We're gonna hit buttons. Okay, yeah, it's hitting 31 over 30 a few times. Let's see. What else can we do to try to fix this? Let's go to more settings. I want that off. Alternative speed? I don't know what that means. I don't know what alternative speed means. Huh. We'll test that out. Okay. Let's see if that helps. Huh. I guess it's just the nature of the quote unquote hardware. It's okay. Because it sits at 99.8 to 100.2, which I guess is going to cause a desync. All I'll ask is it unbearable? Like, is it just like really bad, or is it just enough to be noticeable? It's fine. All right. Maybe I'll screw around with this later off stream to try to figure it out. Yeah, I know that Elliot said something yesterday about it, and I definitely wasn't sure how to fix it. It's probably just because of this, but you know, the nice thing is this is the last game we're playing on PSP. We'll be playing everything else on PC, which will be a lot better. Alrighty. We got bodied by those things. Hopefully maybe it fixes itself at some point. Oh! I did not know that happened. Alright. Yeah, once this is done, we'll be on PC for Cold Steels 1 through 4. I could do, like, technically I could do 4 on PS4, but I don't want to. it's gonna just look worse capturing from my PS4 with a pretty mediocre capture card versus just capturing the PC.
みんなチャンスよ
I have a GTX 1080. It should run those
私の
games
番ですね
fine
そっか
at like medium
俺の番だ
settings.
な
Streaming and doing that, I don't know. We'll find out.
起き上がれ
But I think it should be fine. Nice. Yeah, 4 is the one I'm like most like not sure how it's gonna run. But hey, it's not coming to PC until like 2021 anyway. Unfortunately. It's a shame that the like it's almost like it has like a limited like a timed exclusive on PS4 or something. Nice. I definitely am excited to play them. Voice acting's gonna be good. I think they're voice acted, right? Yeah, I know they're voice acted. Sean Chiplick does some of the voices in him. Is he Reen? I know he's somebody in there. Oh, Sean is Reen? That's awesome. Freaking Rivaldi and Pewter and AI Somnium Files. He's got a bunch of roles. Nice. I'm huge on voice acting. Like, I love voice acting, so it's funny to me, like, if you look at the AI Somnium Files voice actors list, and then you look at like Persona 5, it's a lot of the same people. I would argue, like, I think that's one of the reasons why Persona 5's VA, like its VAs is some of the best. Is like, that's the industry in that game alone. Like, almost everybody in that game is in a bunch of other games with, like, together. Yeah, like, it's kind of just where the state of, like, voice acting is right now. It's a lot of, like, Erica Limbeck, Sean Chiplick, DC Douglas, Greg Chun, what's her name, who does Morgana, also does Sothis. I can't remember her name, but she's really great. DC Douglas is a great character in Cold Steel. That's awesome. He's got one of those like super recognizable voices that is like really, I enjoy listening to. Yeah, they took out all the chests too from this place? Yeah, it's gotten really, really good. I don't have like a dream, I don't know if I don't have a dream job, but I will say that I wish I had earlier in my life not done like singing, but I wish I had focused on my voice. Oh, they're all gone. Well, that's not good. I wish I had done like vocal lessons. I wish I had learned I wish I had like taken lessons to learn more about my voice, because I love voice acting. I would love to have gotten into that industry, or like to like even attempted to do it. And I did some stuff with like my D&D campaign that I was streaming. I did a lot of voices for the NPCs. But I know my tendencies, and I know some of my range. It's also hard because I don't necessarily like listening to my voice being recorded. So it's hard to like... It's hard to like kind of self-critique because I'm not a fan of listening to myself talk, like recorded wise. But yeah, and like having a really good microphone, but also having a good sound stage to record in is hard. I'm limited to what I can do and how well my mic can sound. Like I did one recording, and I probably should go back onto it. There's a website that's dedicated to just like looking for voice actors for like free projects, whether it be like fan-made Danganronpa stuff or like a bridge series. Yeah, there's like a bridge series and stuff like that. So I mean, I've sent in some submissions. And the only one that I heard back from on one was one that they said they really liked the way I did a voice, but I had too much background noise on my mic, which I couldn't even hear. And I asked them, I'm like, hey, I'm new to this kind of thing. Is there any advice you have on how to like eliminate background noise? And they just never got back to me, which was kind of unfortunate because like I would have been willing to work with them to try to get rid of background noise, but I didn't know what I was doing. So it didn't really help me. I also have a problem when I try to do... anytime I try to quote-unquote do an accent, I always pull out the southern accent. And it always slips in. I'm not even from the South, and I always slip into a... like a y'all. Hey there, y'all. What you gonna be doing today, y'all? Look at that, all the books are gone. Let me start drawing out my words. It's bad. I always thought my voice was deeper than it actually is. So, like, I know I can't, oh nice, they actually, nah, I didn't walk all the way back. It was one of my favorites. Was like, I had an NPC in my D&D campaign that was this, I just forgot his name, but I think it was Sergei. He was like the town sheriff, and I gave him a like Russian accent, but it would always mix between Russian and like German. So one session it would be like, why do you guys do this to me? I'm just trying to be a good town sheriff. And then like the next week it would be like, but I am trying to be good town sheriff. It was just like subtle, but the Russians, like the softness of Russian was replaced with like the harshness of German. I could never keep a character straight. Yeah, he's a Russian-German hybrid in this fantasy world. Sergei Sprocket. But yeah, like I learned my range was like, I always thought my range was a lot lower than it was, but I realized my range is a lot higher than it actually is. And as far as like character ranges as far as ages go. At oldest, it's like young adult, and like I couldn't pull off grizzled veteran. That's just not something my voice will do. Like that, because the worst part of doing grizzled veteran is I just do it as like a smoker. Like, hello, I'm a grizzled veteran. Like, why do you falsetto, like, just fake the deepness? Like, it just comes out as, like, wobbles. Like, hello. You hear that, oh. Or it's just wobbling. And that doesn't sound grizzled, it just sounds like you're dying. But yeah, I could pull off, like, young adult. I could pull off, like, I think I could pull off, if I wanted to, like, 16 to, like, 20, like, I would say, like, where I am, like, 29, like, maybe even 30 is where my voice range would go to. Because I could always pull up a little bit higher. Okay, you gotta be careful, though, pulling up that high, because then it sounds fake. Like, I'm impressed by, like, voice actors that not only... Because, like, there's a difference between... I don't want to say there's a difference between, but, like DC Douglas has that voice. You hear it and you know it's him. And then you have, like, somebody like a Billy West, like Phil LaMarr, where you hear them, but they do such a good job of playing with their voice that it's just like... I didn't know that was him. Like, Phil LaMarr is Samurai Jack. Phil LaMarr is also, God, what's his name? From Futurama. Conrad, right? The bureaucrat? No, Billy West is Fry. Phil LaMarr is, Conrad. But he's also Samurai Jack. Like, that same person does those two voices, and they are not the same voice. It's wild how great Phil LaMarr is at voice acting. And I think he's one of my favorites because he's the kind of guy that, like, maybe some people remember him from being the guy that gets shot in the head in Pulp Fiction, or from his time on Mad TV. But I know him more for his work in voice acting. And Billy West just does Fry, Professor, does like 10 other characters on Futurama. You've got, I can't remember his first name, but it's like LaMarche. He does, Brain from Pinky and the Brain, and then also does Mordo from Family Guy, and from Futurama. But they also do a ton of other stuff. Like, voice acting is such an interesting thing. I think part of it for me is also the fact that I spent a lot of my college years writing and performing spoken word poetry. So for me, a lot of it was like, that was all about the voice. Yeah, then you have H. John Benjamin, who just has one voice. It's a great voice. But Archer, Bob from Bob's Burgers, the Devil from Lucy Darling the Devil, anything about Coach McGurk from Home Movies is literally the one voice. But he just nails. And that's the thing, is he just has one voice, but he nails timing and he's really good at just being like really dry, that it works out really well. Yeah, he has fantastic timing. Even his live stuff that he did with like yeah, he's more of an actor than a voice actor. He's definitely also a comedian too. He is a stand-up comedian, or at least he works with stand-up comedians. So he just has that timing for that stuff. I should have bought. You know, I gotta go buy more battle scoops. Yeah, like voice acting is, like I said, it's just one of those things that I could talk about for hours. If part of me would love to do a podcast that focuses on just voice actors. Inside the voice actors studio. Rip James Lipton. Yeah, I mean, there's also some wild, like, there's some wild stories that are, like, I'm not gonna get into them, but all I need to say is, like, Vic. Those early days of the Dragon Ball Z recordings, lots of jokes that were very inappropriate that shouldn't have been said got recorded. That's pretty awesome. I mean, he's also big into like the gaming community though as well. Like, he was supposed. I mean, he did some hosting duties at either S or AGDQ. There was something that happened where he couldn't do the Breath of the Wild run, which was really disappointing because, you know, having the guy who voice acted Rivali for that run would have been great. But there was some stuff that happened. But yeah, no, that's something I would love to do, is just like interview voice actors. That would be a really cool podcast. Nice. I would not be surprised. I know he got into streaming too, which is pretty cool. I think voice actors who get into streaming is a really interesting thing. Like, what's his name? Just recently did that. Chris. I'm never gonna remember how to pronounce his name. Chris Terrafiglia. Terrafiglia. And I've watched some of his streams, and they're really interesting, and he's really entertaining. It's something like that, but he's great. My mom just watched JoJo's, and he's in that show. I know that he didn't do the voice for. It's actually interesting what happened. I don't know the timing on this one. It's really interesting because he actually didn't do the voice for Tanaka in I'm hitting X. I'm hitting the button. He didn't do the voice for Tanaka in the DR. I'm gonna get some lead on that. In the DR3 anime, the Danganronpa 3 anime. There we go. Yeah, he didn't do the voice for it. It actually was Kaiser Neko, who you would know as Trunks from Dragon Ball Z Abridged. And I think he did an okay job. I mean, some people, like a lot of people, didn't care for it because it wasn't Chris. But he did an acceptable job. You could tell it wasn't Chris, and you could tell it was a different voice actor. But if you go back and listen to it, you can hear Kaiser Neko's voice. And that's cool. Like, that's one of the things I really thought was really cool about Dragon Ball Z Abridged and some of these other Abridged fan series, is that they were able to take their hobby. Yeah, try not to blame the new VA. I mean, it's not like they stole the role. They filled in for an opening that the producers decided they didn't want, or there was scheduling conflicts or something. It's business. You never know the insides. You know, could have been, literally could have been a thing with timing.
まずまずかな。
But yeah, like, what was I gonna say? I'm trying to remember what my train of thought was. Oh yeah, like Team 4-Star and those guys, they were able to take their, like, fan project that started as a fan project. They were able, you know, to fuel some of their other projects, with their Patreon and stuff, which is definitely great. But some of them were able to actually turn that into actual, like, voice acting gigs, which is such a really cool thing to me. They took their hobby and were able to make it into something they could do. Which is wild. Like, if you go back to, like, when those first dropped and be like, yeah, well, these guys are gonna eventually be, like, professional voice actors. Like, I don't even think they would have told you that, like, they would have believed you. I don't know the timing for this. I think I'm hitting it. Yeah, right? Like, it's really wild, like, where people got their starts these days. And I think it's only gonna get more like that as people are less inundated by traditional voice acting, which is where they just kind of, like, fall back on, and more people actively want to do voice acting. Especially being raised where the quality, like, you'll see people get into it that were raised in a time where voice acting quality improved significantly, and where the technology has just allowed them to have easier access to higher quality mics at a cheaper starting rate. And, you know, the internet alone, just makes it easier to communicate and share ideas like that. So it's really interesting. Yeah, like, I eventually... Whenever I do actually, like, eventually buy my own place, because I'd like to be a homeowner. It's one of the reasons why I'm staying at home, is that it's cheaper, and it allows me to save money to eventually buy my own home. I want to have, like, a second room that I'm gonna pretty much soundproof, and have, like, a very high quality microphones in there just for recording. Like, not, like, immediately, but, like, if I can... I have friends that are singers. I have a friend that's an opera singer. I want to see if I can work with them to, like, kind of get a better understanding of my voice. And how to raise it and lower it, and how to hit notes. Like, not like full-on singing, but kind of just like a basic understanding of the human voice as a tool. I think that would be really interesting. Now, this stream might actually just be side quests. Yeah, I'm never gonna be a singer. I can't sing, and I don't want to sing. But I would like to know how high and how low my voice can naturally go without sounding like it's low quality, like fake. Like I said earlier, like trying to go low like this, just or going really high. It just doesn't sound good. knowing where my voice naturally ranges, and how to comfortably consistently hit those ranges. That's something I would like to learn. Oh, man.
Yeah, go! よっしゃ畳みかけるぞせいと
私の番ね。行きます。そっか。
よっしゃ行くぜ
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do with poetry was I used to do a lot of like character work, I guess you could say. I had one poem that was it's called The Cannibal's Manifesto,
みんなチャンスよ。
and the whole joke was it was like a rule book written by a cannibal, like a Hannibal Lecter. Right, like a kind of something like a high class, like upper class cannibal. And the joke was that it was the rules of what like cannibals eat, and it was kind of like the people that are like gluten free. You know how like how people like are like gluten free, or they are very conscious about what they put into their body. The joke was like that. So it was like, and I played a character that was really over the top. Like the jokes were, yeah, for humans. Like some of the jokes were like, the voice itself was, we the cannibals. I dare say we've written ourselves a little manifesto.
私の番ですね。そっか。
Rule number 1: no
戦闘終了。
fatties.
警戒態勢に戻ります。
So the joke is like, you are what you eat. No fatties. There was a rule that was like, no junkies. And it was just like how like free range humans, like they only eat humans that put good things into their body. It was a really weird joke, and a lot of people, I don't know how people got it. I thought it was funny, and that's all that mattered to me, was I thought it was funny. I really didn't care what other people thought. I still have it somewhere, probably. I have to find it. Just maybe I'll like do that poem again. Now that I have a nice mic, I might like go back and like re-record a lot of my old poems. Couldn't hurt.
私の番ね。
I was always like I always wanted to do, like when I did spoken word, I always wanted to do stuff that was funny but made you think. That was kind of my thing. My current mic is a, oh god, I think it's an Audio Technica? I think it's is that, I don't remember the exact kind. I think it's an Audio Technica, like ATX. Oh yeah, I mean I was always a performer. Like that was the performance part of it was always easy. I never had a problem getting on stage. I never had a problem speaking in public. But I was like one of the things I loved doing. getting on stage and being in front of people and kind of just speaking or performing, even if it was something like personal, I never had a problem with it.
俺の番だな。
I did, and I always like to do stuff that was like, I like to do double entendres a lot. So I did, I never did drama. I mean, they had like, you know, of course, everyone kind of does like the play in 3rd grade. I did that. But like in high school, I didn't do any like acting or drama reading. I did a little bit of poetry, but it wasn't spoken word. It was kind of just writing, and it wasn't good either. It was college where I learned about like spoken word, and I think now if I were to do something like that again, it would be more what they call story slam, which is like, if you've ever seen the TV show This Is Not Happening, which is where comedians kind of get on stage and tell stories, and they're not even like bits, they're just stories. Like, there's no actual punchlines, it's just funny humor stories. That's what I would like to do, because I have plenty of stories. But I always liked doing things that were kind of like thought-provoking, but funny, but weird. I remember doing one that was, it was What Kind of Pokemon Are You? If you know that song from the old To Be a Master soundtrack. But it was a metaphor for like my family and my like kind of like my I got that. It was like a metaphor, so it was like the whole joke was like, what kind of Pokemon are you? How do you do the things you do? And then it was like I think it was like, what was it? It's sometimes I'm a Snorlax because I like to sit around and eat. Other times I'm like an electrocute. If you come near me, I'll self-destruct. And it was like, whoa. That got dark. And then it was like, I think there was like a joke about my parents where it's like, my parents were 2 Charizards, constantly spitting flamethrowers. Much like their relationship, it was not very effective. Like, it was, yeah. I know. It was kind of fucked up. But it was funny to me, and it was also, like, made you think a little bit. I think I have that one saved somewhere. I'll have to bring them out and, like, record them again. Me and my, like, really awful ideas. I did one that was a poem from the viewpoint of Luigi, and the poem was called Fuck Mario. That was a good one. It was just like Luigi being mad about being in the shadow of his older brother. What a Swordbreaker. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Yeah, kind of TTYD Luigi. I never thought about it like that. What would I take off to put this on anybody? Can I have that and not have burn? Oh, I can. Okay. Oh god, that can give her a ton of fire. Oh wow, I didn't give her that much fire. That's unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah, it's like Mario always gets the girl, and he's just like super mad about it. Maybe I take blind off? No. I kind of need that. That's what we'll do. that was the kind of stuff that I always wanted to write, was like those weird bits that were like geeky and funny and humorous, but also like a little dark, a little not completely safe. I mean, I'm a fan of dark comedy as it is, so.
よっしゃ畳みかけるぞ
逃げ
了解
て
I'm trying to think what other ones I did like that. I did a cartoon one, but that wasn't that good. If you want a good one that's like what I like, I can't remember his name. There's a poet, Sean. Is it Sean Hasley or Sean Hazley? It's called Wile E. Coyote. And it's really good and really, really messed up. But I'll give it like the TLDR on it is he does it from the viewpoint of Wile E. Coyote trying to chase the Roadrunner. But the metaphor is when you try to chase something you love, but it also destroys you. So it's almost like drug abuse.
いい感じだぜ
But he does it from the viewpoint of Wile E. Coyote, and it's like Wile E. Coyote going through a mental breakdown. And he does it so well. And my favorite part of it is, like, one of my favorite parts is when he just starts losing it, and he's like, one of these days, the laws of gravity will obey me. Rockets will fire in the direction that they're aimed in. Rocks will fall in the exact trajectory that they're meant to. And then it gets to a point where he's like, and he gets to this part where he's like, I will throw myself off of every. It's like I will throw myself off of every cliff, chasing the one thing that destroys you. And it's just so wrong. It's so good, and he just gives this brilliant performance of it. It's stuff like that I like. I like character pieces that they fit the tone, but they make you think. And there's a good metaphor in there. One of my favorite writing exercises. Yeah, character dissection. But one of my favorite, one of my favorite writing exercises that I haven't tried it in a long time, but I know a guy who did it, was you take two characters that are completely different, and you write a single poem that could be from either of them. So, there's one that's written, and the two characters are the father of Hansel and Gretel, and what's Pinocchio's creator? Giuseppe or something like that? And it's written in the sense that it's could be either of them, or it could be the same, where it's just so Geppetto. So the idea of the poem is it starts off like about children, and then you kind of realize halfway through that it's the father of Hansel and Gretel who let his children die because they had no food, and in shame, and in like just pure shame, pretty much just like ostracizes himself to like the corner of another town, and he only makes wooden children, thus making Pinocchio because of his guilt for what he did to Hansel and Gretel. And it's like, what? But it works. It's so well done. It's like writing exercises like that make your brain think hard. And then there's like your classic poem that like, yeah, it's a really interesting exercise. And then there's a really cool, and you have like your just like your straight up nonsensical poems that are also really fun. I'm trying to think of who the poet is. It's like Shemp or something like that. And the whole bit is like a whale song for my bastard son. And it's just a bunch of like really weird phrases and just the story. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's really hard to explain. But some of the lines are like, when my boy turned 5, he told me to go fuck myself. When my boy turned 8, he texted me with his phone, go fuck yourself. When my child was 6, I found a shoebox written in crayon. On the top said life, and inside was some broken crayons, some bullet shells, and a postcard that said life sucks. When my boy turned 10, he murdered me. Like, what does that even mean? It's just a bunch of nonsense, but it just the way he performs it makes you laugh uncontrollably. That one I know for sure is called Whale Song for My Bastard Child, or Bastard Son. Did I just realize that he doesn't know how to master? Oh, he does, he Axe. What does Axe even do? It just raises the chance of critical, okay. Yeah, you have to see it. It's so weird and just it's so nonsensical. Oh my god. Reggie Watts. Reggie Watts. I still don't know why he did Google Stadia commercials, but Reggie's out there. He is a weird guy. It's almost like comedy Frank Zappa. And I'm not a big Frank Zappa fan, but like, the guy was out there. I gotta remember to turn in the, all of these like, all these like, things I'm doing where I'm seeing like all the, enemies. What do you call it? The battle information. Yeah, his loot machine's so cool. What's the one he has on like one of those songs on YouTube? Is fuck shit stack. Get a fuck shit stack. A fuck shit stack. You take some shit and some fuck and some shit and some fuck. Put the shit in the middle and the fuck on the bottom. You get a fuck shit stack. Talk about a weird sense of humor. And he's like extremely intelligent too. That's the best part. I almost feel like you get like so intelligent that like your intelligence is so high that you just it almost becomes not nonsensical, but it almost becomes just like abstract. And that's not a Rick and Morty IQ joke. But I think of like I think of oh god, what's his name? I'm blanking. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson. Very intellectual. Kind of a weird guy. Not a bad guy. Not like, you know, super weird, but like he's just very, very interesting. If you ever watch him like give an interview with like Colbert and stuff, his mind's kind of scattered. It's all over the place. And what he finds funny is like kind of abstract. He can be pretentious if you only follow him on Twitter. And a lot of people chalk it up to him just like kind of, you know, taking the fun out of things. But if you like watch his interviews, he's pretty interesting to listen to. I can totally understand that takeaway from him if you only like see his Twitter. Because yeah, pointing out every little inconsistency in movies with science kind of becomes off as pretentious. Where is this enemy? Yeah, I just can't do Tim and Eric. I've watched a few times. It's not my, and that's the funny thing is like Steve Brule's okay. I can handle Steve Brule. I can handle Eric Andre, even though I know a lot of people don't like him. And the funny thing is, like, Tim and Eric, I know that they're funny guys. I think they're the minds behind the Old Spice commercials, which totally makes sense. But the only bit I ever watched on their show, and I guess it's kind of in line with that, you know how people always go Tim and Eric, well, not Tim and Eric, or like Rick and Morty, the joke about Rick and Morty fans? I had that issue with some Tim and Eric fans. I remember one guy in college was like, "You don't watch Tim and Eric?" I was like, "Nah, it's not funny to me." He's like, "Oh." I'm like, yeah, it's kind of low. It's like, it feels lowbrow a lot of the time. He's like, "Oh, see, that's where you're wrong. It's so highbrow that it becomes lowbrow." And I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's not how that works. But they did one bit that was like the intro to SNL, where it's like, and Tim Heidecker, and Eric, I don't remember Eric's last name, but it was just like them doing like the poses of SNL, like, you know, where it's like, it would be like Tim Heidecker, and it'd be him at a bar, like, and I was like, okay, that's a funny joke. I can appreciate that. That's funny because I used to watch a lot of Saturday Night Live, so like that's funny to me. And then they followed that joke with some kind of butt plug that would make you not poop, and that made you septic, and I didn't get it, and I thought it was gross. And it wasn't funny to me. But the joke before that was good. Were they also the writers for Tom Goes to the Mayor? I think they did. Didn't they write for Tom Goes to the Mayor, the animated show? I think they did. Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. That was because that was before Tim and Eric was the show was a thing. That one wasn't too bad. That show, I remember watching that. It wasn't my favorite, but it was not bad. Like, man, Adult Swim at one point was like hit after hit after hit, all worth watching. And recently, I don't even know what's on there anymore. None of it really seems that interesting to me. Kaguya, the Dragon Queen. Oh no. You won't let me fish here? Get out of my way. I want to fish. This bitch. Yeah, no, like I watched. God, maybe it was college. I don't remember. Like at one point they had. Oh my God, Frisky Dingo, which not a lot of people like really remember Frisky Dingo. But without Frisky Dingo, you don't get Archer at all. Say what you will about Archer's current seasons, or the last couple seasons, not great. But those first 4 or 5 seasons, fantastic. And you wouldn't have that without Frisky Dingo. Again, H. John Benjamin being H. John Benjamin. What else is there? I mean, Metalocalypse is the classic. I was, surprisingly enough, I was a fan of, what do you call it? I liked Super Jail. I know a lot of people didn't really care for Super Jail, but I'm a big, I can't remember his name. Is it David Black? No, it's Michael Ian Black. David something. There's the 2 Davids. Michael and the 2 Davids. From Stella. And one of them was, and I never got into Xavier. Xavier was a little too weird for me. I like Super Jail. The over-the-top violence just became like, it's like when you say a word so much that it loses its own meaning. Super Jail was like that for me with violence. It just was so over-the-top violent that it just became a joke. That it didn't make any sense. And because of that, it was funny. I probably just have a messed up sense of humor. Oh, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, like, you look at the voice casting on that show. Like, between Harvey Birdman being Gary Cole and his boss being, what's the name of his eye patch, was Stephen Colbert. Yeah, Colbert was, what's his name with the eye patch? His boss, like Harvey Birdman's boss. Harvey Birdman, Gary Cole, who I absolutely love. And then you had a bunch of guest voices all the time, and they messed around with all of the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons. It was so good. That's a classic. Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. Oh. Yeah, I just don't watch TV anymore. I just don't have it on TV. Like, I have cable, but I just never... I only watch wrestling at this point. Nice. Okay. I'm in. Yeah, the team I like is out of my, football is out of my area, so I have to find ways to watch them regardless. Okay, you should have shot all those rockets. That did such little damage for how cool the animation looked. Yeah, streaming is just more viable for sports at this point. Oh, yeah. Good old Comcast in the Bay Area.
よーし
Comcast.
やー
See, I live in Jersey, and I live so close to Comcast's headquarters in Philadelphia that I really don't get a choice. I have to have Comcast. I don't get a choice.
任せてくれ
Theoretically, I could try to get Verizon Fios, but
任せて
it's a pain in the ass.
よーしは
Especially when you try to leave Comcast.
行くぞ
That's a process I don't have to deal with.
はいは
I had in college I had Verizon Fios.
これが
It
みんなの
was
力ですね
I think $75 a month for I think 25 up, 25 down, and it was 5 of us in the house. So I think it was like altogether, yeah, it was like $15 a month for each of us to put in. And I was like, alright, this is just great. Oh, Cox? Yeah, no, I've heard so many problems about Cox.
せいや
Time Warner.
ほらほら
Time
邪魔す
Warner
んじゃね
is, I think now, is Time Warner now Cox?
え
I thought Time Warner was also, like, notoriously bad.
そっか
I mean, there's the whole pie memes about Time Warner.
私の番ねそこ
And now Spike has those problems with Comcast. Oh, that's right, yeah, Time Warner's now Spectrum. They got bought out by Spectrum.
俺の番だなえいや
Is that the same as Charter? Oh, wow, 666.
まだ
I
ま
thought
だ
that's the same as Charter. I mean, I'll always remember the good old classic AOL. Oh yeah, it's awful. I would love to have Google Fiber, but like it's in 0.001% of the country? Something stupid like that. Pretty much does not exist.
せいほ
I had dial-up for a while. Yeah, the good old AOL.
えいは
The good old Ma, get off the phone. I'm on the internet. Ma, get off the phone. I'm on the internet. Ma, get off the phone. You don't need to be talking that much. I need the internet.
せいや
Yeah, that god awful sound. Yeah, I remember that. Ugh. Watching my grandma sit on the computer on the HP desk, whatever we had, the Dell, playing Slingo, some other weird weird game. Ah, Meatloaf! I never know what she's doing back there. God, that's a good movie. I will watch that movie no matter what scene it's on. Anytime I turn on like the TV and it's on, oh, I will sit and watch the rest of the movie.
それ
はいエニグマ駆動さてと
Yeah, like there's a couple others like that. There's
エニグマ駆動
trying to think. Wedding Crashers, Anchorman, Ricky Bobby, oh my god, The Campaign, Old School. Yeah, all those are good. The Other Guys, I remember that movie. I want to say the worst of those movies I saw in theaters. Yeah. I remember seeing... What was it? I remember seeing the Will Ferrell Bewitched movie in theaters. That was bad. That was real bad. That was like embarrassingly bad. Don't see it. It's bad. It's a bad movie. It's not good. It was like that time where like Hollywood, and Hollywood still does it, where they try to make like new movie versions of old television shows. Unfortunately, Will Ferrell seems to be in a lot of them. Land of the Lost and Bewitched come to mind. Both bad movies. And not like funny bad, but like bad. Yeah, I don't blame you. They've gotten really bad. A lot of the time, Dash. Well, I'm never gonna use that. I have a 2-chain. 2-chain. Yeah, I hear ya. I'm bad at when it comes to like sitting down and watching stuff. It's like not my forte. I get choice paralysis. So I'm like, I have so much anime and like Netflix I want to catch up on and Disney Plus, but I've just been like, I would rather play video games or watch YouTube or do anything else. Even though I enjoy it. It's just hard for me to sit and commit. Choice paralysis, man. That is a real thing. Just sit there and go, I have 5 different things I could watch. I'm gonna watch none of them because I don't know what I'm doing. And I can't make a decision. I'm like that with video games too. That's why my backlog took forever to get done. But now that I'm streaming a lot more, it's kind of like I don't get to have choice paralysis. This is my choice. I have Doom I need to finish, but the only reason I haven't finished Doom is I legitimately get pissed off at the game because the Marauder enemy type is god-awful. And I hate fighting it. I honestly don't. I'm not having fun when I play against those enemies. I hate it. In a game where, like, your main thing... Yeah, in a game where your main thing with, like, Doom is You go fast. You shoot things. You be quick and violent. You have an enemy type that is like, oh hey, you can't hurt this guy unless you sit and wait for him to do his one move and his eye flashes green, and then you can shoot him. Which is like, but why? But why? Why have an enemy type that completely goes against the entire feel of the game? It's not fun. And then it'd be like fine if it was just a one-on-one fight, but no, you have that while also dealing with mob control. And it's just infuriating. And that's why I haven't finished the game. Like, the whole game, like I give Doom Eternal a 9.5 out of 10 as a game. I love it. It loses 0.5 from Marauder design alone. That is like my only gripe with the game. Other than that, it's a fucking great game. Probably my favorite FPS I've played since Halo 3. That's the thing, man. Even Halo 3 didn't have a dumb enemy type like that. Halo 3 was like... I at least put 1,000 hours into Halo 3, like online multiplayer as a kid. That is something I can easily say I was addicted to. I was into Counter-Strike when I was younger, 1.6. I played some CSGO, but I never got good at it. I like playing gun game on 1.6 on the custom 609 server, which was the New Jersey server. They would always have gun game on there. I'm hoping that Valorant has... I'm hoping when Valorant does drop, if it's just going to be a CSGO kind of clone, that it has a gun game. I think right now it's just one game type, but it better have gun game in it, because gun game is fun. Because it's the kind of game that you can play where it's free-for-all, you don't have to be godlike at it, and it's not like it matters that much. Yeah, there's only competitive mode at this point, which just sucks. It's so... I hate using that word, but you know what I'm gonna say. It can get really gross and toxic. Just wait until you have CSGO, but with League fans. Because Riot Games. You tell me that's not gonna be a sweat fest of toxicity, because you know it is. 100? What is this? Alright, let's take a look though. Oh no. Oh my god. This fight started and Lloyd died. This fight started and Lloyd died. They're like, hey Lloyd, you like living? Yeah, not anymore. Alright, let's just see what they are. Senses art and obstructs their chain. That's annoying. Evil thunder attack. I don't see what the difference between the regular attack and that attack is. That one probably... Oh, it's speed down, that's what it is.
訓練不足でした。
Oh, and it hits 2 people.
手こずってるかい？
負けられない。みんな撤退しましょう。
Uh-oh.
回り込まれた。
That's why we save. For all of these. We're gonna load anyway. Jeez. Level 100, alright then. That's something. All the kibbled salt. What's this way? This was closed last time. Oh, this is a boat shed. Okay. Don't know what that means, but okay. I see fishing. Oh, nice. What a recipe. Ah, another new recipe. You know we got a fish.
それ。しまった。それ。
I hit that way too late.
Carp. それ。
Ah, that's on me.
それ。
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's harder on PSP. Okay, not bad. 150.
それ。
See, I feel like I hit that right.
それ。 よし、ゲットだ。それ。 まあ、こんなもんかな。
Not too bad. We need a new rod already. Oh, locked. I got a new recipe though. Can we make it? We can make that. Ooh. Okay, not too bad. I need honey syrup, which means I have to go to America to get that. Ooh. Randy can make this. So 2.
よし。よし、ちょろいちょろい。よし、こんなもんか。よし、ちょろいちょろい。お、
Ooh, made some
いい感
herbs.
じじゃね。
Okay. Not too bad. Kind of like the revive fries. What were they? I can't remember what they were called. They were like the revival French fries from Zero. Let's go see if it's a chest here. Yep, there is. Perfect. This day of chapter 2 has been literally no story. It has been fighting enemies, talking about movies and shows, and doing side quests. Which is not bad. I don't mind this being the one that's like not heavily story based for being a short stream. Eventually we're gonna have to, you know, check all these places out and go check all these chests. Yeah, when it gets going to like 0 to 100 very fast. So these parts are nice and relaxing, and you just kind of investigate the world. Oh, did he actually play for 29 hours straight? Like, is that an actual thing that happened? I can't. No. I like these games, but I would find a place to break in some part there. That is a little too long. I can barely stay awake for 18 hours straight. Was that which game did he do that for? Was it this one, or was it a different game? Oh, that's alright. So I'm assuming Endgame is just wild. I don't want to know anything. I'm just gonna assume the Endgame must be a roller coaster of emotions. Oh, where he couldn't put it down? I mean, still. How long was he streaming before he hit that part? Don't tell me that answer, actually, because I don't want to know. But, like, even if he was streaming for 20 hours straight, that still means he hit a part where it's like, oh, well, here's 9 straight hours and you can't put it down. That seems like a lot. I'm excited. But that, oh, man. I mean, I'm in for the... This is why I play these games. I'm in for the wild ride. I didn't mean to finish 0 when I did, but I did. And now it's a fat me. That's when I was like doing Zero's finale. I was like, I don't know, I don't feel like stopping, and I don't. I think I told After 5, or I told Luigi Meister. I was like, I don't think I could have found a spot that felt good stopping, even if I had wanted to. The end of 0 just was like, there was no spot I felt comfortable going. You know, we can pick this up later. More fishing. Yeah, that's what I like about streaming this, is like, it feels like a game where I would say if I do 3 to 4, like anywhere between 2 to 4 hour streams, each chapter has generally, at least in the first, like at least in 0, the first couple chapters were like 2 stream chapters. And then I had one, I think it was chapter 3, where I did like a really long stream. I only had one stream that was like over 6 hours. So it was like a 7-hour stream. And then of course the last stream was 6 hours. But for 13 days, only having 2 really long days, not bad.
それ
See, I'm hitting the button. I'm hitting the button.
それ
They never feel long because I don't think they ever feel long because the story gripes you really well. And the gameplay loop in general is just really satisfying. I don't know this timing. This makes no sense. Do I have to hit it like frame perfect?
それ
Oh yeah, I mean Persona 5 in general has that spot. I just don't get the timing.
それ
I am pressing as fast as I can.
それ
That sucked. I'm not gonna be able to play Persona 5 Royale for a couple months probably because GameStop has my order and there's nothing I can do about it. I can't get it.
やっと
I have to wait till they reopen their stores physically in order to get my copy. So it's fine. I'm in no rush to play it, but I'm hearing a lot of stuff about the quality of life changes, and I'm really liking what I'm hearing. So I'm excited to eventually get around to playing that later. Yeah, like I'm not gonna stream that one anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. That's gonna be a nice like off-stream game just to play like on weekends and stuff, or on non-stream days. It's always important to have like a set of games that you just don't play on stream.
任せろ
Yeah, I never did a second playthrough of Persona 5 Vanilla, so I am excited to like replay Persona 5. And I'm definitely gonna play it on I'm not gonna play it on Merciless, but I'm gonna definitely play it on a harder setting than normal. Especially after hearing a lot about the quality of life changes. It definitely seems like a game I'm gonna want to play on a harder difficulty. I mean, Persona 5 on normal was already kind of easy. Oh, I got ambushed.
敵先生気をつけなよ
Yeah, is there a difficulty harder than hard, but not as hard as Merciless? I can't remember what their difficulty ratings are. Or is it hard than Merciless?
この調子で行きましょう
Maybe I'll do a Merciless run of it. Maybe I'll do Merciless. Really, the only thing Merciless even does is like change health pools, makes things harder. Like lowers your EXP and your money, but I think you can. As far as I know, I'm hearing the money's not that hard to come by. There are really cheap ways of getting money.
私の番ね
Could you lower the difficulty in game? I can't remember.
よしせいや
Like, if it's one of those games where I could lower the difficulty if needed, then I just drop it from Merciless to hard. And, okay. You can change, you can lower it, but you can't raise it, can you?
行きます
I think once you lower it, you can only lower it further. You can never go back
戦闘終了
higher.
警戒態勢に戻ります
Oh, you can? I don't remember that being a thing. That might have been just vanilla, maybe. Yeah. And I'm not above like using the I'm not above using the DLC like Persona like Izanage. I'm not above that. I'll use it, I don't care. I know some people are like, oh, I'm never gonna use the DLC they give you. I'm like, whatever, fine, you play the way you want to play. I'll play the way I want to play. And the way I like to play is I like to play the DLC that you get for free. It only makes it true. From what I hear, you get the first ones for free. But if you fuse them anytime after that, or if you need to like get them back, you gotta pay for them. Which is like, okay, I'm fine with that. I mean, let's be honest, you're just gonna, like, if I play it again, I'm just gonna immediately tunnel vision for Shigioki and get my broken Persona immediately. Shigioki is broken. That's why, like, anytime I see a streamer play Persona 5 and they completely ignore Shigioki, I'm just like, oh, you're making a mistake there. You're in Palace 3, you go get him. Go get him. Alright. Nice. I know we got like a bunch of... We did a lot of fighting, so... Got a lot of Sepith for that too. See if we can do anything with it. Maybe we start early on expanding. Look at action 2. Ooh, I can enhance some slots. I'm just gonna give Ellie more. We're definitely just gonna give Ellie more EP. All right. Well, I think it's gonna be it for me tonight. We did a lot of fighting. We did 2 side quests. We checked out a lot of areas. Let's take a look. We pretty much cleared out all of the America Hold Road East Crossbow Highway of any items that they would have had, as well as the tower, Stargaze Tower, and a little bit of that. So we just need to check out the rest of the road to Ursula Medical College. And yeah, we'll do that.